Welcome to our video lesson on writing equations from word problems and solving equations from word problems. To start, you need to write down our steps. These steps are very, very important and are really going to help you throughout. So the first step, like with all word problems, you're going to cube it. Then step 2, it says write a let statement, and in parentheses like k, rep, ... Find the key word that tells you the operation. Write your equation, solve your equation, write the units. Pause the video now to make sure you have those steps written down. Okay, let's do an example. Our first step is to cube. So we are going to circle the numbers and units, underline important math words. Last week, Daniel ran 6 miles more than Jasmine. Daniel ran 24 miles. How many miles did Jasmine run? Box the final question. So let's put a box around this question. How many miles did Jasmine run? And eliminate unimportant information. There's no unimportant information there. So now we're done the first step. Our second step is to write a let statement. Now in this let statement, we're going to make our variable. Our variable is whatever the question is asking for. So our question says, how many miles did Jasmine run? So our let statement will answer this question. Let x represent, and I'm just going to write rep so it's shorter for us. Let x rep the number of miles Jasmine ran. So now we're done our second step. Our next step says find the key word that tells you the operation. So in this, in our question up above, the key word that is going to tell us our operation, we can choose from two. The two keywords we underlined, it says more than or how many. Well, more than tells us the operation. More than, when we hear that, we think of addition. So we know we are going to have an addition equation. So I'm going to write a plus sign and then an equal sign, because I know my addition equation is going to have a plus and an equals, and then something here, and something here. So now we've said let x represent the number of miles Jasmine ran. So wherever it says the number, this part right here where it says Jasmine, we can represent that with an x, because we said that x represents the number of miles that she ran. So how we write this as an equation, 6 miles more than x. 6 miles more than x. How would I write that? I would write that as x plus 6. And x plus 6 has to be equal to 24. Now some of you might be saying, okay, why x plus 6? Well, it says 6 miles more than x, and more than means addition. And if you think back to the foldable we made and all the keywords we wrote in there, more than was the one where we wrote the variable first and then the number second. So this would be x plus 6. Now we're going to solve our equation. That's our next step. To solve the equation, we are going to subtract 6 from both sides. These cancel out, and we're left with x is equal to 24 minus 6, which is 18. Now our last step is our units. Don't forget our units. So it says, how many miles did Jasmine run? Jasmine ran 18 miles. If you want to check your answer, you could do the check, but it's not required for this part. Let's do another example. In this question, we're going to start by cubing, exactly the same way we did the last question. So we're going to circle the numbers and units, 24 miles, and 17 miles. Then we underlined the important math words. So Kayla ran 24 miles less than Carlos last week. Kayla ran 17 miles. How many miles did Carlos run? We're going to box the question. How many miles did Carlos run? Eliminate unimportant information. We don't have any. Our second step is to write our let statement. So our let statement always relates to what the question is asking. The question says, how many miles did Carlos run? So our let statement will be let x represent the number of miles Carlos ran. We always get our let statement right from that question. Sorry. Okay, our next step. We need to find the key word that tells you the operation. Okay, if I look back at my key math words that I underlined, I see less than and I see how many. My key math word is less than. And less than means subtraction. So I know I'm going to have a subtraction equation. So I have something minus something is equal to something. So let's look back. Remember that X now represents the number of miles Carlos ran. So wherever it says Carlos and represents running, we can put an X there. And that represents the number that Carlos ran. So now it says Kayla ran 24 miles less than X. 24 miles less than X. How would I write that expression how would I write that as an expression? 24 miles less than X. Well, I would write it as X minus 24. And what's that equal to? That has to be equal to 17. Now we have to solve our equation. To solve the equation, we need to eliminate this minus 24. To eliminate it, we're going to add 24. So these guys cancel out. So we add 24 to this side, and we end up with X is equal to 41. So that means that Carlos ran 41 miles. All right, we're on to another one. Each box of cereal costs $5. How many boxes of cereal can you buy with $15? Okay, we're going to start by cubing. We are going to circle our numbers and units. We underline important math words. Each is an important math word. How many is an important math word. We box the question. We eliminate unimportant information. We don't have any unimportant information. Okay, we need to write our let statement. Remember, our let statement always answers the question. How many boxes of cereal can you buy with $15? Well, to answer that question, we would have to say the number of boxes of cereal we can buy. So let X represent the number of boxes of cereal you can buy. Okay, we've got our let statement. Now we need to find our key math word that tells us what operation we're going to be doing. Our options are each and how many. Well, when it says each, we know that that's multiplication or division. So each could be multiplication or division. So we need to think, is this going to be a multiplication or a division question? Box of cereal costs $15 and they want to find out how many you can buy. Sorry, each box costs $5 and you want to find out how many you can buy with 15. This would be a multiplication. So I'm actually going to put a dot for multiplication because we're no longer using that X for multiplication. So we're going to have a multiplication equation. So it means we have something times something else, the little dot to represent the times, is equal to something. Well, if each box costs $15, it would be if each box costs $5, I keep doing that, I'm really sorry. It would be 5 times X has to be equal to 15. Okay, 5 times X has to be equal to 15. We are going to solve this equation. We solve this equation by dividing both sides by 5. So that gives us that X is equal to 3, which is 15 divided by 3. 3 what? 3 boxes of cereal. And there's one last example for you here. Okay, we're going to start by cubing it, just like always. Paul and his best friend found some money in an envelope. They split the money between the two of them. 2 is a number, even though it's written in words, so let's circle it. They each get $21. How much money did they find? So we've circled the numbers. We need to underline important math words. Paul and his best friend found some money in an envelope. They split, that's an important math word, split the money between the two of them. They each get $21. How much money did they find? Now we're going to box the question, and we eliminate unimportant information. In this case, we actually do have some unimportant information. The fact that Paul and his best friend found some money in an envelope doesn't really matter to us for this question. So we're going to cross that part out. Okay, our let statement needs to answer the question. The question asks, how much money did they find? So our let statement will say, let X represent the amount of money they found. Okay, so now if we look back at our question, they split the money between the two of them. Wherever it says the money, we're going to change that to X. This should become our little X here. So it says split. Split is one of our key words. And split means division. So that means that our operation we're going to do is division. So it says they split the money between the two of them. So we need to divide whatever money they got into 2. So that means our expression would be X, our equation, divided by 2 is equal to 21. And you can see that because they split what? They split the X, the money, into 2. That's what our wording up here tells us. They split the money between the two of them. So that means X, and this is a division sign, even though my dots are small, divided by 2 is equal to 21. Okay, now we need to solve for X. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2. And we end up with X is equal to 42. 42 what? Don't forget your units, $42. Okay, that's all for now. I know this is a challenging skill, so let's do lots of practice. And as always, I am here to help you as you go through the problems. That's all for now. I'll talk to you later.